Hey, today we're going to talk about Lake Michigan water. It might not be as safe as you think. Despite its reputation as a pristine freshwater source, recent studies and ongoing pollution have raised serious concerns about the water quality of Lake Michigan. What this could mean for millions of people who rely on Lake Michigan water for their drinking water. The health risks might surprise you. So I got a great idea. How do I show you what's in your water, right? Well, let's go to the Environmental Working Group Tap Water Database. This is ewg.org. Pretty simple. We enter the zip code, we pick Chicago, and what we're able to do together is you and I are going to be able to uncover what are the toxins in your water if your source of water is Lake Michigan water. Now, you can also do this by clicking the link below if you live in another community, because we provide links to understand what are the other toxins in your water. Now, we're going to go through each one of these. Take a look at bromodichloromethylene. By the way, it took me a long time to learn how to pronounce all these words because they're long and they're hard. There's chloroform. Yes, chloroform, right? 24 times the level. Now, let's make sure we address these levels. So this is not above the EPA levels. So the EPA set its standard in 1984. Well, started in 1972, updated them in 1984, and they recently just updated it with one more toxin. Now, the one toxin they added was forever chemicals. Forever chemicals is a very good thing to take a look at because that's what the movie Dark Waters was all about. Mark Ruffalo, who's the Incredible Hulk, he actually played a role as the attorney in that. And it's a great movie to watch. And yes, forever chemicals are getting into our water supply. Also, forever chemicals, the reason why the United States government actually now has added that to the EPA list is because it's so toxic for the body. It's everywhere. That's why right now you can't really watch the news. You can't really open up a magazine without seeing something about forever chemicals in our water supply. It's actually in food. It's everywhere. It's in your plastic baggies. So it is something that I would make you or suggest that you become more aware of. Now, that forever chemicals is just on top of this list that I'm actually going to continue to go through. Now, if you look at this, this is a list of what these doctors and scientists felt like, wait a second, the EPA standards are so old. We should update them because they were based in 1984. I mean, our testings weren't very good back then, and just we didn't even understand what causes cancer very well back then. We're talking 1984, right? So they updated the standard and said, really, if we're looking to be healthy human beings, which I want to do, that's my passion, by the way. My passion about doing this is to be able to help you. I want to arm you with information so that you can take control of your life and make yourself more healthy. My background is actually in healthcare, and I sold pharmaceuticals and drugs. And I thought, yeah, drugs, we're going to help people be more healthy. But you know what? I don't know of many cases where the drugs actually cured something for somebody. Ongoing drugs really just mask the problem. What's the root problem? As I started learning more about health, I realized that it's basically what mommy taught you, right? You are what you eat, you are what you drink. Sadhguru has a great line. If I eat a banana, in 4 hours I'm that banana. I'll add to that, if you drink a glass of water, in 4 minutes you're that glass of water. So think about this for a second. Your body's one big filter. So if you're one big filter, what happens? When you eat something, that becomes you. If you drink something, that becomes you. So if there's a toxin in that water, guess what? That becomes you. If you have pesticides, herbicides on your food, that becomes you. So my logic or my passion is about to educate you so you could say, wait a second, if I want to live longer, which that's my passion, is to help you live longer, well, and I'd love to see people have less cancer cases. Well, what can help you with that? Well, if your body's one big filter, what do you need to do with all filters? You need to clean them. How do you clean them? Well, you use water, right? You use water to clean everything. So to me, it makes a lot of logic to understand what is that water you're consuming to clean this body. And shouldn't it be free of toxins? Because again, what you consume, what you drink, is going to become part of you. So as I've learned more and more about health and your well-being, it's really pointed me to the direction of being in the water business, where I can assist you in living a more healthy life, arguably by drinking cleaner water. Now, in order to understand that, what comes out of your Chicago water tap? This video is all about that. So if we continue down this list, we're going to see that doctors and scientists say that this is how many times above the level they think that this test shows. So whether it's bromodichloromethylene, chloroform, we're looking at 123 times the level. Chloroform, 24 times. Hexavalent chromium-6, 9.7 times. We're going to come back to that one in a minute. Dibromoacetic acid, 16. Dibromochloromethylene, dichloroacetic acid. Haloacetic acids, number 5. Haloacidic HAA, number 9. Look at that, 103 and 319 times the level that these scientists think that you should drink, should be in your water supply. That's amazing. You have nitrates, nitrite, nitrate. You have radium-228 and 226. We're going to come back and talk about that in a second. Total trihalomethylenes. That's TTHMS. And then down here, almost everyone's water supply in the whole country has trichloroacetic acid. What do these things cause for the human body? Cancer. A bunch of other things too, but cancer. So, would you want them in the water? I mean, I don't know. That's why this video exists, is to help you understand what's in your water. We're going to teach you what's in the water, and then I'm going to help close the loop about how to get that stuff out. Now, if we scroll down a little bit, the EWG does a great job. They actually show you even what do systems do in order to take things out of your water. But we've highlighted some of the big ones up there, but let's take a look at the other contaminants that are still present in your water supply, right? We have words, andostyrene. I mean, we have barium. We have, again, chromium total. We have fluoride. We're going to go back to chromium. We have fluoride. Well, of course, they add fluoride to the water. I mean, fluoride to the water? Really? Do we want to still add that? We're one of only a couple countries in the world that still add that to the water. Does it really make sense for you to drink the water? By the way, they only say that the doctors who do say you need to do it for your teeth, or the dentists that say you need to do it, they say it's only up until age 7 that you really need to do that. So for the rest of us, is that really, what about the rest of us? And can't you take a fluoride tablet if that's what you really need, or if you choose that that's what you want? It is on the far right side of a periodic table. That means it's the most toxic substance. Crazy, right? Yet it's in your water supply. Molybdenum, we have strontium, we have testosterone. What's that doing in the water, right? And vanadium. So we have these radioactive materials in our water supply, and we're going to jump back up here to sort of talk about that. Before we talk about that, let's talk about chromium-6, because I got a great story to share with you. Because this is all about making you just simply aware, so with that awareness, you can make a decision for your family. Chromium-6, Michael Hawthorne, Chicago Tribune, did a great expose on what the U.S. Steel Corporation did over in Indiana, right? What happened was, thanks to the University of Chicago law students, they started researching the EPA. And as they were going through the EPA's studies, what did they happen to come across? Oh, a little unknown story about how U.S. Steel accidentally dumped 1 year's permitted supply of hexavalent chromium-6 into Lake Michigan. Yes, first of all, you might be all shocked, but they buy permits to dump hexavalent chromium-6 into Lake Michigan. And the government thinks that's okay, so they do that. But they accidentally, in one day, did a whole year's worth. And this is what happened. A fisherman was fishing, and he noticed this blue-green bloom. He didn't understand it, so he called the EPA. The EPA goes out and finds out this accident occurred. The U.S. Steel says, oh, we're sorry, and the EPA stopped there. They didn't notify you or me or anyone else that lives on Chicago water. They didn't notify the news to notify the public. And by the way, they're supposed to penalize them with a financial whack, right? And they didn't do that. And so what happened is the professor for the students notified Michael Hawthorne. He reported it, and boom, it became national news. Accident happened, and the EPA, whoopsie, forgot to penalize them. Really? They forgot to penalize them on something so tragic? It's just crazy to me. How many times has that happened? Well, I don't know. Maybe a lot of times, because according to the EWG and their scientists there, we have 10 times the level. By the way, you might ask me, what is chromium-6 all about? That's the movie Erin Brockovich story, where Julia Roberts won her Best Actress Award. And California has a limit and says it's no good. But guess what? The EPA has still not updated their standard to include that. Why? Back in 1984, when they set the standard, all the doctors and scientists thought hexavalent chromium-6 was converted to chromium-3, which is okay for the human body. Well, they were wrong. The digestive tract doesn't do that, and as we found out in California, it causes cancer. And yet, what are we doing? It's still allowable to be in Lake Michigan. They still allow to have permits to be pulled and dump it in Lake Michigan with the water you drink. So again, even though Mayor Daley, the first Mayor Daley and the second Mayor Daley, and everyone says, we have the best water in the world. Well, yes, from the perspective of it's not salt water, that's a great thing, right? We don't have to reverse osmosis the water to get out the salt so you and I can drink it. That's all it really means. Does it mean that it's free of toxins? No, it just meant that it was fresh water. That's all he did. And by the way, Mayor Daley was how many years ago? In the 50s and 60s? I don't know, 60s and 70s? And then his son kept saying it. And when you say something over and over and over again, oh, wait, that's what politicians do. They lie over and over and over again, so it becomes the truth. And then news reporters report it and report it and report it and report it. But in our world, what happens is Mayor Daley said it, Mayor Daley, everyone says it, the Water Authority says it, everyone's saying it. And then guess what? The real estate agents say it. They say it over and over and over again, and then the public says it. Everyone starts saying it. But is it true? That's for you to decide. When you look at this and you'll understand that story about hexavalent chromium-6, you make that decision. When you think about Mark Ruffalo and the story about forever chemicals being in the water, and we now know that Chicago water has it, right? So you got to ask yourself, do you want that in the water? And that's highly toxic to the human body. There is no limits that's okay. I mean, well, I guess there is a really tiny, tiny, tiny bit. You got to ask yourself, do you even want that in your water? So when we look at these things, you got to say, is that important? Radium. People ask me all the time, how is there radium in the water? Well, let's think about that. Lake Michigan is a hole in the ground, right? It's a huge hole in the ground. What's on the bottom of that? What's on the bottom of the lake? Well, rock. And what we know, if you live in the Chicagoland area, many homes have radon-222. That's why you have to test your house when you go to transact it to another person, right? You're checking for radium-222. Oh, well, where is that coming from? It's percolating through the earth. So what we have is radioactive material that actually, and by the way, I went to school to understand radium and radon and where it came from. And the theory, again, it's just a theory, is a radioactive asteroid hit our planet right where right where Chicago is, and bounced off. And it left behind all this amount of radium. Well, the glaciers came down and brought in dirt and soil and all the glaciers, and then when it retracted, all that dirt and soil is sitting on top of this radium. But radium wants to get back out into the universe. So what does it do? It tries to escape. So it percolates through the earth, and that's what it hits the bottom of a house, and it gets into a crack in the basement, and that turns into radon gas, radium-222. Now, what happens when it gets to the bottom of Lake Michigan? Oh, it percolates through the water, turning into radium-228 and 226. This is why a great water softener is wonderful to take that out of the water. So you're not inhaling that when you take a hot shower, or let's say that you have a steam shower. Do you really want to inhale a lot of these toxins? Well, in many cases, a carbon filter for the whole house and a water softener for the whole house can help reduce some of these, not take them all out. but there is great products. And so now I'm going to do something that most news companies don't do, right? This is where, if this information is really helpful to you, to your family, please click like, subscribe to the video, to the channel. We would be most grateful for it, and share it with your friends and family, because I have a philosophy, right? I like to ask you, do you have 3 people that you love and care for that could benefit from healthy, clean water, or could benefit from understanding this if they live in Lake Michigan or near where their water comes from Lake Michigan? Or B, you can click our link below. If they don't live in Lake Michigan, they can find out what their water quality is, and they can see the toxins in their community no matter where they're at. So I hope that you do that, because we'd greatly appreciate to share this information, because of course a well-educated person can then make a good decision as far as what they want for their family. And so if you want to close a loop on this, because most of the companies or most of the news agencies, they talk about, oh, we have forever chemicals in the water, yet that's all they say. How do you get it out? Okay, so that's where we come in from. So we know the toxins in the water. What can you do? It's time to look at what's called an NSF 58 certified reverse osmosis system. Now that means it's certified to NSF 58 standards. That means that National Sanitation Foundation, which is a not-for-profit, again, not-for-profits, they don't have any influence from major corporations, we hope, but they actually study the water filter, they throw water and toxins to it, and then they test the water afterwards. That's how you know that the water will be clean. There's so much lying and deception in this business, it's amazing. I have story after story where I was selling products because some manufacturer told me, hey, we got this great thing, and then we tested the water after it, and it didn't take it out. And we're like, oh my God, what do we do? That's when I learned about NSF and its standards. Again, the whole idea of my videos is to empower you with information so you can help make decisions for you and your family in regards to your health. Because again, my passion is to help you live longer and have less chances of things that you're consuming that may cause cancer. So again, NSF 58 certified drinking water system. That's a system that goes basically under the sink and provides one faucet basically of purified water. So that's where you get most, in your kitchen is where you get most of your drinking water. So an extra faucet is installed there. Sometimes we can connect it to your kitchen faucet, and then you'd be able to actually dispense enough glasses of water for the day, maybe boil spaghetti, maybe you can rinse your vegetables with that purified water, all in an attempt to have clean water free of these toxins for your human consumption. Now, it's very expensive to do a whole house RO, and I don't know of any that are NSF 58 certified at this time. We do get some people who are so passionate about water. We've had individuals who were very sick from water, and they could not even take a shower because their skin would get crawly. And then we did reverse osmosis systems, not that we're 58 certified, but we did reverse osmosis systems, and we were able to make their water much more healthy. So maybe you know somebody that actually, no matter what they do, they take showers and their body itches and they get the EBGBs. You might be able to share this video with them as well, because when we take a look at things like in the far right-hand side of the periodic table, like fluoride, man, that might be affecting the body. Why? Because your skin is the largest organ of your body. And we know for a fact that your skin, what comes in contact with your skin, your body absorbs and makes part of you as well. Some people have questioned me on YouTube. I'll just give you a quick hint here. All you got to do is look at the nicotine patch, right? You put it on your shoulder, and the next thing you know, it's slowly dispensing nicotine into your body. That's the analogy I want you to understand about water. When you're bathing in water, when you're showering water, when you're inhaling the steam from the water, that will give you the argument of why you want to consider taking these toxins out of the water for you and your family to be more healthy. So what I hoped I did today is educate you enough about your body, because it is one big filter. And I like to look at it like, hey, if I were to, Sadhguru says it the best, if I eat a banana and in 4 hours, I'm that banana. I like to add to that, if I drink a glass of water, in 4 minutes, I'm that glass of water. And so since we all know, if you've seen my videos, I talk about how your body's one gigantic filter. To me, it makes a lot of sense that if my body's been absorbing everything, and there's pesticides and herbicides maybe on my food, and there's some toxins that I may have ingested over the years or what have you, well, to me, it makes sense that we flush this filter with good, clean water that's free of these toxins. Because in my years in the pharmaceutical world, I saw that the body actually absorbed those drugs and then they built up in the fat and the muscle of our body. So what's to say that that's not happening with these toxins? And if the net result is they cause cancer, it just tells me that for me, if I've educated you, you can make a decision for your family. Do you want these in or out of your water? So if you do want them out, just as a reminder, contact your water treatment company that's local to you. Ask them for an NSF 58 certified drinking water system. You now know the toxins in your water, and you know that that's going to be able to help take those out of your water and make you and your family flush this body and become more healthy. So I hope that really helps you there. By the way, if you don't have a company that you or have and that's local to you, contact us. We'll try to help you out the best you can. Our link is in the bio below. And again, I hope that what I've done here today is help you understand my passion. I'm Drew, and I am here for one reason, and that's to serve you. Thank you.